Alright, so it's going to be my first video reviewing some gear and just talking about some gear as well. Because I get a few comments every now and then and people want to know about the gear that features in the videos or pickups that are in my guitars and things like that. So I'm going to answer some of those questions and also give my sort of long-term owner's review impression of this guitar as well, which is the Chapman Guitars ML1 Pro Modern, which I've had now for probably around 2 years. So it's a good amount of time to really know what the instrument's capable of and also figure out any flaws in it and see if anything's going to start breaking when it's in constant use. I absolutely love this guitar. I play it all the time, and I wouldn't be without it if it was to go up in a house fire. I would go and get another one immediately. I have to have one of these now in my collection. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Can't take anything away from it in that sense. The Hipshot Tuners that it comes with are really good. They allow for really fast string change and they keep this thing in tune really well, which has lately just been helped by these Ernie Ball Paradigm strings, which really stay in tune remarkably well. It's great live, you barely have to touch it. And that brings me on to the frets as well. These stainless steel frets, are showing no sign of wear whatsoever. They still look like brand new, still super shiny, and I haven't polished them. They just look amazing. So that shows great quality and great materials that Chapman guitars have put into the frets on these things. And the frets are really important on a guitar for me. The body can be dinged or can be in slightly worse for wear condition, but the frets have got to be nice. Because if the frets are nice, and the neck's nice, then the thing's going to play great, and that's what's important, really. What it looks like is kind of secondary to that for me. Anyway, kind of moving down to the business end of the guitar here. Obviously, you might notice that these aren't the stock Chapman Pickups. I will start by saying the Chapman Pickups are really good. They do everything that they're supposed to do, and they're probably one of the best stock pickups that I've ever used in a guitar, to be honest. Obviously normally most people take the stock pickups out of any guitar, even like high-end Gibsons. Some people swap them out, but I just had these lying around in a drawer, so I thought, yeah, why not put them in and see what it does. And I really dig in the way this thing sounds with these in. I say that the Chapman Pickups are great. You could have left them in and you'd been fine forever. You didn't ever really need to change them, but we like experimenting as guitarists and we like messing around with tones, so why not just swap them out and see what you get. So I've got a Alternative 8 here in the bridge, which is kind of a cool sort of blend between ceramic and Alnico magnets. I'm not sure of the exact kind of spec on this, but you can go on Seymour Duncan's website and look it up for yourself. And then the other one is a Pearly Gates, which is like a hot PAF. Again, specs are all on Seymour's website for that. It's a really nice thick pickup, this though, really thick sounding and warm with a really sweet high end, so I'm proper digging the combination of these at the moment. I've got this nice kind of attacking bridge for all the rhythm stuff, and then I've got this super sweet neck pickup for all the lead work. It's really nice. That leads me down to this area. The switch has always been super solid. Great, it clicks into position really well. It still does. It still feels like brand new. So even after 2 years of flicking this thing around, it's bang on. So no problems with the switch. So that's great. Had a slight issue with the knobs though. The tone knob's been fine. That's probably because I barely use it. It just stays on full, and that's where it stays. However, the volume pot, I have had to change this to a CTS pot very recently actually, because the top end of the original pot started crackling really bad and it was noticeable live. So I was a bit disappointed with that really. I mean, 2 years is not a large amount of time for a pot for me, personally. I don't know about other people. But some of my guitars are way older than this and they still have the original pots in and they're perfectly fine. So I don't know if it was just me, got unlucky, but I did have to change the pot and I was a bit disappointed having to do that, but it's not the end of the world. It's an easy fix and the guitar is now back to full strength again. So that was the only issue I've ever had with this guitar really, in terms of something breaking, and it's not really a massive issue in terms of things that could go wrong with the guitar. Pots are kind of almost a consumable part like strings really. It's just one of those things. Anyway, and the only other thing that keen-eyed people of you may have noticed is that the bridge is different. It's not the stock Chapman bridge that the guitar comes with from the factory. That one is right here. If you can see that in focus. It's a really, really good bridge. It's heavy. It's well painted around the sides. The saddles are all enclosed, so it means that they're not going to wobble around. It's going to keep the strings together very tight. It does everything you want a bridge to do, really. You know, you can intonate it and you can adjust the height of the saddles. So it is what it is. I just didn't like it, to be honest. It feels quite, I don't know, it feels quite cheap on your hand when you're playing it. The saddles themselves don't have a large amount of paint on them. They're actually quite thinly painted, and mine were starting to come off within only, I don't know, maybe a month or so of playing the guitar very, very, you know, very lightly, and only every now and then I was picking it up to begin with, and the paint started coming off. So it's painted really well around the edge, but not so much across the saddles. So I decided to change that for a Hipshot bridge, which in fairness I feel like the guitar should have come with, because the standard series of these guitars come with Chapman's own hardtail, but then so does the Pro range. So it's like, kind of feel like you should get a Hipshot bridge. Since you've got Hipshot Tuners, why didn't you get a Hipshot bridge? So that basically meant Chapman Guitars manufactured one bridge and stuck it on both of their series of guitars. I mean, yeah, it's a bridge, it works, it does what it needs to do, but when you're paying the premium price, it's nice to get a slightly more premium, you know, piece of hardware. Everything else is premium on this thing, so why not put a premium bridge on it as well? This only cost me £50 off eBay, and it's the genuine article, genuine Hipshot bridge, and it slapped straight on, it bolted on with no modification whatsoever. So clearly they sort of, you know, had the idea that they could put a Hipshot bridge on one of these if they wanted to, and probably decided to save money in the factory and just put this on it again from the other series. So, you know, it's a little gripe, but it's not the end of the world. It's dead easy to change, and you've got a much better bridge, and it does transfer more vibration into the body, and, you know, whether you believe that gives you more tone or not is up to you. But for me, if I can strum the guitar and feel it all vibrating against my chest when I'm playing it, I feel like I'm getting a little bit more, you know, tone and zing from the guitar, if you like. So that's it, really. Great guitar, absolutely love it. There's a few mods that I've made to it, only due to my own personal taste. If you wanted to keep everything stock, you could, and this guitar would be absolutely fine for anything you wanted it to do. I just decided to do a few things because I do like experimenting, and it's good fun. So anyway, hope you found that useful. Cheers.